Okay, I'd like to start off by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakal Kadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim pushing this truth and sincerity. All right, I'm not yet a member of GMS, but it is who I learn up under. I'd like to mention that. And I'd like to start this off by examining the cover of this magazine. It's the November 2017 issue of People magazine in Spanish. Okay, it's about the Dreamers Act. As you can see, they have so-called Hispanics posing with the job titles they have here in America. And it reads, "We are all dreamers. They came when they were children. They learned a new language. They graduated from college, started their own businesses. In the military, they defend a country they consider theirs, and now they are threatened with being returned to a country they don't know." All right? And you can clearly see the emphasis they put on the word dream. All right? Because according to them, uh, the dream is to make it to America and be successful. All right? And they're trying hard to sell us this American identity. And we start to become Americanized, aka assimilated, the moment we start to learn within their school systems. That's when the teachings of this American culture begin. But what we don't understand is that the Spanish culture, that Spanish identity that we're leaving for this American identity, that's not even our culture, our true identity. Okay? Because the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the people who are on this side right here, are the actual nation of Israel. All right? And if you know your Bible history, you understand that the nation of Israel was split into two kingdoms. The southern kingdom, which had the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, who are the Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, and then the northern kingdom, all right, who have all the Latin tribes and the Indian tribes, all right. This is the actual nation of Israel, and I'm not talking about spiritual Israel, aka replacement theology. All right, and here goes some um, precepts proving that spiritual Israel, aka replacement theology, are false doctrines. All right, if we go to Psalms 89 and 34, all right, Psalms 89 and 34, "My covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips." All right, so we clearly see that once the Most High establishes a matter, it cannot be changed, it cannot be altered. All right, so if we take this understanding to Deuteronomy 7 and 6, all right, this is Moses talking to the actual nation of Israel. All right, he's establishing something with Israel. All right, for the for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay, the Most High has just established that he's dealing with the nation of Israel in a special way, in a way that he's not dealing with any other nation. All right, so to then say that in the time of the New Testament, he's cast away his people, the nation of Israel, and is dealing with spiritual converts out of the heathen nations, is to alter what's already been established, because he's already specified for who the covenants are for in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay, so if we go to Jeremiah 31 and 31, all right, Jeremiah 31 and 31, "Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah." Okay? That's in the Old Testament. Now let's get it in the New Testament. Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. All right? So this is for who the covenants are for. Okay? The actual nation of Israel. Okay? Not spiritual Israel, aka replacement theology. All right? And these are just a few precepts, okay, killing that madness. All right? So getting back to the topic, what they don't teach us within these school systems here in America is the things that actually happened when the so-called white Christian European nations started to colonize what we now know as Latin America. All right, when these Europeans, that specifically the Spaniards came, okay, they came holding this document here, this decree called the Spanish requirement, the requerimiento. Just give it a second to load. All right. And it reads, the Spanish requirement of 1513 was a declaration by the Spanish monarchy written by the Council of Castile jurist Juan López de Palacios Rubios of Castillo's divinely ordained right to take possession of the territories of the New World and to subjugate, exploit, and when necessary to fight the native inhabitants. All right. The requerimiento, Spanish for requirement, as in demand, was read in Castellan, which is Spanish, to the Native Americans to inform them of Spain's right to conquest. Those who subsequently resisted conquest were considered to harbor evil intentions. The Spaniards thus considered those who resisted as defying God's plan and so used Catholic theology to justify their conquest. All right, so let's go down to, I'm going to go down to this part here. So the requerimiento emerged in the context of moral debates within Spanish elites over the colonization of the Americas and associated actions such as war, slavery, Indian reductions, conversions, relocations, and war crimes. Excuse me. Its use was criticized by many clerical missionaries, most prominently Bartolome de las Casas. So the actions that came along with this Spanish requirement were slavery and Indian reductions. All right. So what I want to do now is take a closer look at what Indian reductions are. So reductions were settlements created by Spanish rulers in Latin America. The Spanish relocated native inhabitants, Indians, which is another name put on us by them, all right, forcefully, if necessary, into settlements which were modeled on towns and villages in Spain. In Portuguese-speaking Latin America, reductions were called aldeias. Okay, the policy of reductions began on Caribbean islands in 1503. In the words of the Spanish rulers, it is necessary that the Indians be assigned to towns in which they will live together and that they not remain or wander separated from each other in the backcountry. The Spanish ordered that Indian villages be destroyed and selected sites for new villages to be built. The concentration or reduction of the Indian population facilitated the Spaniards' access to Indian labor, the promulgation of Christianity, and the collection of taxes and tribute. Okay, so this is the part that where it gets straight to the point. Moreover, the reduction of the Indians was intended to break down ethnic and kinship ties and detribalize the residents to create a generic Indian population. All right. They were taking our identity from us, man. This is how we began to identify with this Spanish culture, the Spanish identity. All right. So basically, just to recap, at the beginning of you, us so-called Hispanics and Latinos receiving this Christian faith, we were enslaved and forced to convert by these so-called white European Christians. Okay, do you sincerely trust your slave master to come to care enough for you to tell you any truth? Okay, these so-called the so-called white man's Christianity is a big lie full of false doctrines. And I call it the so-called white man's Christianity because if you do your homework, Christianity as we have known it leads back to them. Okay? And now it's being exposed for what it is. Nothing but pure blasphemy.